Welcome to this edition of Diligence Inside America's Boardrooms. I'm TK Kerstetter, and I'll be your host for today's show. Today we're going to be talking about what directors should know about transformation and other important digital trends. And joining me is a board member and an executive who has a lot of experience in this space. Welcome Ben Kirshner, who's a board member with Tivity Health Inc. and is also the chairman of Tivity, which is a digital marketing agency. Welcome, Ben.
Thank you.
So let's just take 1 second and let our audience know what Tivity Health is.
Sure. Tivity Health owns some brands. The most famous brands are Silver Sneakers, Nutrisystem, and South Beach Diet. And we're helping solve the determinants of health, social determinants of health. Excuse me.
Well, anybody my age always knows what Silver Sneakers is.
It's a great program.
Yeah. So, here you are, a digital expert, so you're the perfect person to ask this question, but can you give a quick review of digital transformation and what directors really need to be aware of when they hear this, and hopefully they're having serious discussions at their business about this?
Yeah, I mean, digital transformation, to just simplify it, is using digital technology to solve business issues. A very simple example, if you look at Domino's Pizza. Domino's Pizza has been a legacy brand. It's been around for a long time, and I give that company a lot of credit, and they were very early to come up with an app to order pizza online. It seems kind of intuitive today, but when they first came out with it, it was a big leap forward. And so that's an example of digital transformation. It's as simple as that, just using technology to solve business issues and to give you a competitive edge in today's ever-changing environment. And why it's really important for legacy business especially, and what the board needs to be aware of, is that within your organization, the people, the CMOs, the VPs of digital, the e-commerce folks, they know about what's going on. They get called by all the vendors all the time selling them digital transformation. And a lot of the times I see for my Tivity day job, running a digital marketing agency, that our clients are wanting to do digital transformation, and a lot of times it gets shot down because the CEO, the CFO, and the board is just not ready to invest. And so what I always tell board members is, you should be learning about the digital transformation trends. You should be asking your CEO and your executive team, what are we doing to stay ahead? What digital trends are we implementing to stay ahead and give us a competitive advantage? Because you're going to have a lot more success when it comes from the top down versus the ideas coming from the bottom up.
Well, and you know, it would be sort of disheartening to me if this term, after all that we've been through sort of this last year and how often it's been discussed, if somebody is not aware, they may not know what to do, but they should at least be aware that this is such a critical element to the future of almost every company. I can't think of any company that isn't going to be impacted by digital transformation.
Yeah, I think, look, directors, one of the tools in their toolbox can be talking to their internal staff and asking them to educate them on the different projects and priorities that they want to start implementing. Also, most of the companies have a digital marketing agency or a marketing agency that they work with. It's no skin off their back to ask them to come in and educate you on what we're seeing. I mean, where I sit, we manage over $1 billion of ad spend and over 1,000 clients in my agency. So we see digital transformation across thousands of customers. We see what works, what doesn't work. And so we're happy to come into our clients' boardrooms and educate them on what other companies are doing that's working really well, what things have been implemented that don't work very well. And so board members who are listening today can easily call their marketing agencies and have them come into a board meeting, maybe once a year for an hour, and just educate them on what they're seeing in the market. And the board members will learn about digital transformation. It's that easy.
We won't have enough time to do that, but I do want to hit on some of the platforms that maybe board members should be aware of that are happening. So why don't you take a second and just review some of those trends of what's happening right now.
We don't have obviously a lot of time, but one trend that I see across all of our clients is the implementation of a CDP, a customer data platform. And to just give a simple explanation what that is, in legacy companies, we have data all over the place. We have data in our financial systems, we have data in our e-commerce platforms, we have data from our stores, we have data in our shipping information, we have data in our email marketing platforms. And so we have disparate data throughout the organization. With all this data all over the place, it's hard to make data-driven decisions. So what a customer CDP, customer data platform does is it brings it all together and gives you one unified view of the customer. Once you're able to have all your customer information in one platform, you can start really understanding who your customers are, how often they order, what they order, and you can start segmenting your database of customers. And then you can use other technologies like a DMP, a data management platform, to go out and find more customers that similar to the ones that you know that you want to target. And so it's an expensive technology. It's very costly from a time and dollar standpoint, but can have dramatic effects on your organization.
And that's an example of a simple question that a director could be asking.
Yes.
And what do we do around collating our data and using it strategically, correct?
100%. And do we have a CDP? If not, why not? If you don't know which one to choose, there's consulting firms out there you can hire. Once again, your digital marketing agency can recommend different CDP platforms. Where we sit with all of our clients who have CDPs, we know which ones are good. We know which ones maybe aren't so great for you. But it's a newer technology that's just kind of been around for 1 or 2, 3 years for now, and a lot of companies are starting to implement. And it's a big overhaul because remember you're taking a lot of legacy data from legacy systems and bringing it onto this new platform. So it's a big overhaul, and it takes a lot of hands on deck to actually implement it, but the ROI and the effects of doing it properly can be tremendous for an organization.
So that's an example of a digital platform trend. Let's talk about digital marketing trend, because somebody may initially think that, boy, that's a director may be coming too far down, but so much has changed today about how we reach, our audiences and our consumers, that you have to have some knowledge about how that world has changed too. So if we had to educate our viewers on a popular marketing trend, digital marketing trend, what would that be?
So I think what you're seeing is there's programmatic buying is what digital marketing was first built on. And we're seeing a lot of advertising dollars being bought programmatically. And there's companies called DSPs, demand-side platforms, that go out to the market and buy media in a programmatic format. TV is kind of the last big barrier to buying programmatically, but one of the trends we're seeing in 2020 is the explosion of video ads, not only on sites like YouTube, but you're starting to see YouTube TV and all the OTT connected TV. People are just watching and consuming TV differently than through their traditional cable operator and through a cable box, and that brings a whole new forefront to digital advertising and targeting consumers using video. And so you're going to see a lot of programmatic buying. You're going to start seeing DSP buying a lot more prevalent. It is prevalent for the most part, but once again, legacy brands are a little slow to adopt programmatic buying. And so that's, I think, one of the big trends that we're going to start seeing in 2020.
Well, when you look at YouTube and Netflix and Disney now, and I mean, it's just absolutely changing the way we get all of our media, it seems, these days. So
and you're going to see NBC as well, and you're going to see consumers are going to start have the option. Do you want to pay a monthly fee for no ads? YouTube's doing this. Or do you want to not pay a fee and see targeted ads?
Yeah.
And soon I think we'll see, probably beyond 2020, that giving the customers an experience. You can pay for unlimited service and get no ads, or you can have a lot of these services we get for free today with ads, but you'll get to choose.
Well, you are sort of the perfect example. First of all, you're part of our Next Gen Board Leaders group, which we're happy to have you as part. But you're a perfect example of the type of person that boards are recruiting to make sure that they have this influence, this digital influence. Your board's lucky they have somebody on board that can explain all this to them. But I had to giggle at when I first heard about digital natives and what they were and how eventually boards would be seeking them out. But now I have a totally different opinion. I think that where once it was okay to have a person on the board who understood this, now if you don't understand the digital movement and you're sitting on a board, I think you have to question whether somebody's going to have the skill set to keep up with as fast as things are doing in this world of modern governance. The speed of which things are done, it just seems like it's off the chart. But when you look around now, when you look at, maybe your board's not a great example because you've had a chance to educate them, but when you look at other boards and whatever are going to make a pitch to a particular company, do you see this? Do you see the need? Do you see companies trailing because they just can't? They just haven't made any effort to keep up with what's happening?
Yeah,
digitally?
absolutely. Look, I think in most circles you hear disrupt or be disrupted. And so what every company out there has a digital disruptor competitor. I can't think of an industry where there's not a disruptor coming into a legacy business and doing it using data, better technology, better platforms, new systems, taking advantage of the hardware that are available on our phones. One of the other big trends that's happening is obviously the explosion of 5G is going to be rolled out in 2020. I just saw a foldable phone. And so digital native companies, digital disruptors are taking advantage of all the hardware that's available to make the customer experience better for them. And if you're not on the forefront of what's going on with AI and business intelligence and understanding your customer and advertising and getting on the platforms that are most relevant, whether it's podcast advertising, whether it's video advertising, you're going to be left behind because there's digital disruptors out there, digital natives out there that are looking for the inefficiencies that legacy companies have.
It almost scares me as an investor because when a new disrupting technology, you say, oh, that's terrific. Right behind, what worries you is right behind them is the next disruptor that could make their ingenuity or their invention or whatever it is obsolete in so much time. So it becomes a little bit of a challenge to say, where do you hook your wagon up to, because things are changing so quickly.
It is rapid. But the good news is for board members, there's lots of resources. First of all, as I said before, you can bring your digital marketing agency into the boardroom. You can subscribe to blogs and webinars within digital marketing agencies. Every marketing agency puts out a lot of thought leadership and content marketing. You can subscribe to that. You can sign up for Forrester, Gartner, or eMarketer. Most of your agencies subscribe to these publications, and so you can get the information from them. So utilize your digital marketing agency is one of the better takeaways I'll say for today.
Or you can watch Inside America's Boardroom.
Yes, you should definitely watch Inside America's Boardroom.
So Ben, I wanted to thank you for taking the time, bringing your digital knowledge to the show. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
And that will conclude this edition of Inside America's Boardrooms. We hope you enjoyed the show. We'll be back again next week when we take another look at a critical topic that'll help you be a better board member or committee member. So we'll see you then.